as you probably do not know, because you're not creepy little, skeevy little perv stalkers and you don't need to know this, but I'm going to tell you anyways. I just recently graduated. From what you say? Harvard. No. College. No. High school. You know why? Because I was smart and I kind of took it seriously, but more just had God on my side and maybe some anime. And that's about it. But in the long run, in the short term, I should say, I graduated either way, so it doesn't really matter, and I had decent grades. Now let's talk about traditional school. There's been a lot of fake gurus. There's been a lot of gurus in general saying, "Oh, traditional school needs to change. Oh, high school is a waste of time. College is a waste of time." Now I'm gonna sit down here and tell you my experience with school and if it was worth it or not. I'm saying this like I'm talking to like a fifth grade, like a 5-year old that's like not sure if he wants to go into traditional school or his parents not sure. So I don't know who I'm really talking like to this about, but it's an experience, and I like to talk about mine because everyone's is different. So you might be wondering, one thing is, why is this why are you saying this in January? Isn't usually school done in June? Very true, but I did graduate half a year early. So pretty much I only had to do half of my senior year, and just because of credits, I changed schools like every 2 years for the past, I don't know, how many, like 12 years. I've changed schools every like 2 years, and everyone's classes are different, everyone's credits are different, and I recently went into a like hybrid school, and their credits were a lot less, and I had good grades, so I was able to graduate half a year early. So kind of cool. Not like that big of a deal. Like usually when you skip a whole grade, it's kind of a big deal, but this was just kind of like a convenience thing. Like now I just have like a half, I had like 6 months off until I actually graduate and actually walk. So it's kind of nice. Which I will be walking just because it's an experience. All right, let's start from the beginning. First grade, I don't remember anything. To be honest, like maybe some coloring. I have some like old notes that my mom has kept around that like were from there, and my spelling was like literally telling a dog to like pick up a marker and try to draw something. Like it was that level of spelling. It's really bad. I still have cruddy handwriting just because I did a lot of like online school during COVID and stuff, and so my handwriting was already bad, and then just went to literal hieroglyphics. It's terrible. Second grade, still don't remember anything. I honestly don't know. I could lie to you and be like, oh yeah, I remember this teacher, but like in reality, I probably just learned from that teacher from my mom. So we'll just move on. Third and fourth grade, this is where I changed schools for the first time. So I've pretty much only lived in one place for about 2 to 3 years my whole life. Just with my dad's work. That's like why we just move a lot. That's very common. I've lived out of the U.S. quite a bit. I lived in Canada. I've lived in South America. I've lived over in Asia for a bit when I was younger. Like I've lived kind of everywhere, which is honestly a really good experience for a kid, just because you get really like culturally mature, like in that sense. Like it doesn't like make you nervous or like I want to say nervous, but like it makes you a little more comfortable around like all nationalities, which like I know a lot of people could struggle with that, or just like in general is just better for a kid, I think. So third or fourth grade, the only memory I have of third and fourth grade is that they had this little like obedience chart. It was like a green sign, a yellow sign, and a red sign, and each of it was like this big flat piece of cardboard that was split up in those three sections, and then you had your name on a clothespin, and everyone started on green. And so whenever you acted bad or like behaved bad, or the teacher just, I don't know, was in a bad mood, they would take your name and move it down to like the yellow section or the red section. And I'm pretty sure the yellow section was, they would write in our little calendar. We had this little calendar, and every like week they would do like a performance review on each day. So like, oh, if you were talking, oh, let's like mark him for talking on this day, like he could work on that. But the yellow, when you got moved down to the yellow, was like for one bad thing, like, oh, I talked out of turn, or oh, like I did it too much, or oh, I'm on my phone, or something, which I don't know why you have a phone in third grade, but come on, it's America. And I put it on, and well, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but yeah, so you put it on yellow. If you get on yellow, you get like something written back to home, I think it is. Like you have a little note that like you take home, and you're like, oh, your kid was acting bad. Or if it's red, like if you did something really bad, it's usually you're like got something involved with like the principal or like something really bad, and they would like call home. And I remember one time, me and my friend we would all like, I don't know if you remember this, back in like third grade, you'd have to like all go out at the same time to go to the bathroom in the water fountain. I remember me and my friend were like slacking a bit and all behind, like while the rest of the group was going, and we were like, oh, we gotta get there fast, and so we came sprinting down the hall, which was probably like a good, I don't know, 100 meters, sprinting down the hall and slid on our knees for whatever stupid reason, slid on our knees and like slammed into the wall right in front of everyone, and then the teacher saw us and was like, okay, that's gonna be like a yellow or something for you two because you're like acting appropriate. And I just remember like that was probably the lowest moment of my life was when my teacher was like, you're being an idiot, like quit. I was so sad. I don't know why. So, fifth and sixth grade. Fifth grade was kind of an awkward one because it was like half of the year was moving, half of the year was school. So I was kind of doing like a hybrid again, which I kind of done hybrid a lot throughout my life just because I was moving so much and it's kind of hard to like stay in traditional schools. It wasn't homeschooling, and like it was a lot better because like some of it was in person, some of it was online, and I think that's really important because like I definitely have decent social skills. Like I can talk to a person face to face. Like I work in a job to talk to people, and like a lot of people that are either homeschooled or online schooled don't have that, and that's like where they really struggle with. Like they'll excel academically, but then like be trash at just like a face to face conversation. Where I've like pretty much excelled pretty academically, and then also like had a decent like face to face interactions. Like I can talk to someone. I'm fine. So fifth and sixth grade. Fifth grade was kind of awkward just because it was like a lot of moving, a lot of like doing random stuff. Sixth grade is when I actually moved back to America from South America. I moved back to America sixth grade, and that was super weird because obviously American schools, and actually where I was in South America, it was actually a British school. It was a British-run school, and it was super annoying. That's another detail. In fifth grade, I was in South America, and it was British-run school, British curriculum, and I could not freaking correct my spelling because they spell everything with a U because they're so proper and annoying. Like, it was so aggravating. And I remember I said something in a paper. I think it was like, what the frick, in a paper, and I got marked down for cursing. And apparently, I had a British friend. My British friend was like, oh yeah, like, you're not supposed to say that, or like, that's like not good. I don't know if it was that, or maybe I said something else, but I just didn't understand. I could not wrap my head around that. And yeah, I failed spelling because they were like, oh, how do you spell color? I'm like, I don't know, with two O's. They're like, add a U in it, you idiot. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, this is stupid. Like, that's not how that works. And then, so moving on, sixth grade is when I moved back to America. And that was kind of awkward just because it was like different curriculums, a lot of different people. I had kind of a cruddy teacher too. So my teacher, she was a really old lady. I don't remember her name, but it was like, it's still in that phase. Like elementary school is still that phase where you have one teacher for all subjects. And I remember this teacher, she was kind of old, probably like, I'd say like late 60s. But she was just mean. She was rude. But she, at the end of the year, end of my year, said she was retiring, and we got her like all the teachers and students came together and got her like a present and like gave her all this money and presents. And we're like, oh, here's like your retirement fund, blah blah. And then, not kidding, during junior high, she had been like seen at another elementary school teaching still. So she like put on this big show when I was there, when she was teaching me that like, oh, I'm retiring, oh, like this is so sad. And then she had just gone to work again, and I'm like, that's insane. Like I don't understand that. Whatever. Sixth grade was dumb. Same with junior high. It was like the stupid rules, like you can't make a snowman when you go out to recess because you might try to kill someone with it or something. I don't know. And also, my elementary school was on an open, like it was like in a neighborhood almost. So the fence around like the yard that we put like have recess in was like people's back fences. I remember we would take like snowballs, or the bad kids would take rocks and like chunk them at the houses, and like they kept having to announce over the speaker like, don't do that, because they couldn't really pin it on anyone, so they were just like, please don't do that, please don't do that. Pretty funny. And then, but what was funnier is that it was an open gate. Like it wasn't even a gate, it was just an open area, like a sidewalk that you could just walk into the neighborhood. So I remember so many kids would slough in elementary school because they could just go for recess and just walk away. Like, it wasn't that hard. Yeah, it was pretty stupid. I do remember using that a couple times though, because me and I went to school with my cousins there, me and my cousins, we lived like right next to the like we were pretty close. We lived like right next to the school, and so if we ever forgot homework or like in a project or something, or like oh I forgot that at home, we would just ask to go to the bathroom, and we all just sprint over to our houses, grab it, and sprint back. And like we never got caught because like, you know, like they're not gonna check security for that. All right, moving on to junior high. Junior high was like any typical junior high experience. There's like the girl that thinks she's like 21, and then there's the guy that thinks he like is Chris Bumstead. Like that's kind of like your general, I don't know, general junior high experience. I don't know. It's just a lot of prepubescent teens that don't know what they're talking about and like to vape. Vaping was a huge problem in junior high and high school. I never tried it because I'm not stupid. I remember at one point in junior high, vaping got so bad that they had to literally shut down all bathrooms except for two because people were just sitting in there and vaping. So they had two bathrooms, a men's one and a women's one, for like probably a good month until they realized that was stupid and everyone complained. And then they would have like people stationed outside those bathrooms and like pretty much check you to make sure you're not like they weren't like frisk you or being like weird, but they make sure you're not holding anything or have anything in your pockets. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Junior high was kind of dumb. Like, it was just that normal, like, oh my goodness, I have lockers, I'm so cool, and that was like it. I don't really have any like specific memories from junior high, except maybe on the last day of 8th grade, because I went 8th grade, 7th and 8th was junior high. On the last day of 8th grade, we weren't allowed to leave, like, because it was the last day, and it was kind of like that day, like, you already have all your grades in, and you're just kind of sitting around doing nothing. And the only options, there's three options on the last day. You could either go out to the field, and you had to leave at 8 a.m., or you couldn't go out anymore, go to the field and play, what is it called? Kickball, and watch a kickball tournament. You could go into the cafeteria and, I don't know, sit on the most uncomfortable benches imaginable, or you go into the library and, I don't know, learn more. Like, what 7th and 8th grader wants to learn more after just 10 weeks of school? Like, no one. That's exactly right, no one. And me and my friend got stuck inside, and we're like, oh, we want to go out, and it was like 8:30, and they left like 8:15, and the teacher at the door was like, nope, sorry, we can't like have you go out. And I'm like, what if you like walk us out there? Like, nope, sorry. I'm like, this is so stupid. And so we went into the cafeteria. Like, what do we do? Like, I don't want to sit here around. It's like 9 o'clock in the morning. We have to be here till 3, doing literally nothing. And so literally when they called us in for, I keep saying literally. So when they called us in for lunch, or I don't know, freaking brunch, because they're weirdos. I think it was just lunch though. They called us in, and as everyone was walking, like you have to walk right past one of the main doors. Me and my friend just like walked out that door and just like ran away, ran back to his house because I was like, this is stupid. And what are they gonna do? Like expel us? Cool. I just like finished junior high. Who cares? Oh, you're gonna punish me? Don't care. Anyways, that's pretty much all of my junior high experience in one, like I don't know, 30 seconds. All right, high school. High school is a big one. I think everyone's high school is a big one because like that's when like grades start counting towards college. Ooh, all this stuff. Blah blah blah. So 9th grade, nothing big. I remember joining the swim team, and I sucked. I was really the bottom of everyone that's in swim, and I only did it because my friend did it, and then he got such bad grades that he got kicked off the swim team, and we're no longer friends, which is pretty funny. I went to just like a normal high school. No, it wasn't anything like special. Now, 10th grade is when it started taking a turn for the worst. Because 10th grade, I moved to a different, like I just moved, and I went into like a school. It was a really good school. I had really good like teachers. It was a very expensive school because it was like brand new. And then that's when COVID hit. It was around when I was a sophomore, so I was like, what? Yeah, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And it hit, and we had to keep going like hybrid, or we'd have to keep going like literally if anyone that was in your classroom had symptoms, like literal symptoms, you would be quarantined for 2 weeks with him if you were in like a proximity of them. And then they started doing like, oh, just the students around him are going to be like quarantined. And then they pretty much like shut down for like 3 weeks at a time, and we're just like, okay, do online. And none of the teachers knew how to do online. It was just such garbage. Oh, one thing I do remember from 9th grade was that COVID struck like the end of my 9th grade year, like through the summer. And I remember this because I think it was near my birthday, and it was over spring break. No, it wasn't my birthday, it was spring break. was over spring break that they were like discussing, oh, are we gonna close down? Oh, like what are we gonna do? And I remember we were talking about it, and my language arts teacher, who was just the worst person, she's just so rude. She was like, they're not gonna close down. That's so stupid. Like they've never done that before for a disease. And she said that, and we're like, okay. And then literally 2 days later, we get an announcement over spring break. 2 days into spring break, they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna like close down school. Like it's gonna be like online from now on. Yeah, I remember that. And I never had to see her again, which was very nice. Anyways, back to sophomore year. I didn't like do much. I did like band. That was like my main sport. Is I did marching band. I played the tenor, which is like pretty heavy. It's like 40 pounds. Like that's a bit of like physical exertion, like for a sport. That's pretty bad. I remember I had a band teacher that was really invested in band, and I didn't like it because he's like either you're all in, like you're gonna be a professional drummer, or you're gonna. And also tenor, I don't mean sax. I mean the tenor drum. It's like 5 drums, not the tenor sax. That's different. Um, and then like on like concert band, I just played a bass drum or a timpani. Timpano is a singular. Anyways, moving on. And he was like super invested in band, and he was like, either you're gonna be a professional drummer and play for the Blue Devils, or you're going to like you're just gonna quit right now, and there's no in between. It was kind of annoying, and like he would hold really long practices and all these things, like 3 hours a day, like every other day. Like that's a lot for someone that's like trying to start a job, trying to do well in school. Like that's a lot. And he's like, and I remember his like reasoning with that was like, he literally said this. He said, a C plus or a C is an average grade. He's like, you don't need to get straight A's. So pretty much saying you don't need to try that hard in school, and so don't keep complaining about band being in the way, because it's not, of you getting average grades. I'm like, that is such a stupid thing for a teacher to say. Like, what is that? And then it ended up, I moved again my 11th grade year. It ended up that I had quit, and was and like the whole time I was there, he was like, I'm gonna be with you guys forever. We're gonna win like so many state championships. And he had quit. He just like quit, and he was like, oh yeah, it was my mental health, blah blah blah. That's another thing. Freshman year, I also did band. I did marching band. It was just like, oh no, I did do marching band. I played bass drum. Anyways, I had the worst music teacher. I had this one that always forgot my name, and he would like try to guess my name as like a game, like kind of joking. I'm like, haha, yeah, it's funny. And then when I didn't tell him my name, he would get mad and like pull out the roll in front of me and like be all like super serious about it. He's like, oh, looks like we've got you now. That's very interesting. Like he would get so mad because he would just be embarrassed, because he'd be like, oh, this, and then like everyone would be laughing, and he's like, okay, so what's your name? And I just wouldn't tell him. I'm like, I don't know, like you have a role, I don't know. And then like you can't get mad at that because he forgot my name. I've been there for like 6 months and you can't remember my name. Okay, that's fine. Like, I don't care. And then the other one was just as annoying, and he also quit after like a year. And both of my benches that quit told me that it was due to mental health reasons. That their therapist, this is both their excuses, their therapist told them that teaching band might not be good for their mental health. I'm like, if this is your passion, you're probably going to have a little bit of mental struggles with it. But okay. 11th and 12th grade, I went into online. I got, it actually originally started not with COVID. It originally started with, I had a chronic cough, and that was prime COVID time. And they, like, all the doctors I went to couldn't find out what was going on. And so I just had this chronic cough, and I'm like, I can't go to school with prime COVID while just coughing every like 2 minutes. This is gonna be bad. So my parents are like, yeah, that's probably smart, and like you probably won't be able to focus in like a normal setting. So we're gonna put you in online. I'm like, okay, that's smart too. And then like that led to like other injuries. Like I like hurt my abdomen really bad. I had to go to like the hospital a lot. I was in and out of doctors probably every 2 weeks. It was horrible. It was a really bad experience. But for school, as soon as I went into online, literally I had the best grades that I've ever had. 11th grade, I went into online like in like the second quarter through the fourth quarter, and I had straight A's at a 4.0. And then this year, senior year, I had a 4.1 my first quarter and a 4.0 this quarter. So like obviously I was a good kid. Like I got my work done. It was very, I wouldn't recommend online school to anyone just because it's very self-starter based. Like you can, because they had no like they had no not fouls. They didn't mark you down for being late. on an assignment. So you could literally hold off all assignments until the last 2 weeks of the quarter and do it all. And that's a big problem for people because people will just be like, oh, I'll just get it done later. Like they procrastinate. Like if you procrastinate, you should not do it because it was very like self-starter. Here's the work you have to do for the 10 weeks. Do it in whatever time you want to, kind of thing. But obviously, like it was my best like grades out of all of my school in entirety, which is good, I guess. I never cheated like a lot. I guess I say that very contradicting myself, but like I knew people that cheated like a lot on like tests and stuff. The only thing I ever cheated on was in online and in actual school was on assignments because I hated how long they would take. So I would just look up answers, but I never cheated on actual tests or like big assessments. And I think that's important, just because, especially in online, because they had so many anti like cheating softwares that you had to download. I only had to download like 3 before each exam, and so I don't think I would ever even be able to get away with cheating. And but even those, I just like ace those, and then I would like cheat on the assignments just to get them done quicker. Because I'm like, I'm not gonna sit here for 2 hours looking up president's favorite candy. Like I don't care. Like, it's not a big problem. But yeah, that's pretty much my whole school experience. Not many like super exciting things. Like there are some things I could probably go in depth in, especially when I live in like South America. There's like some crazy things that happen, but I don't really want to talk about that right now, at least, just because it's like I don't know. That's for a different time, I should say. Um, so my whole high school experience, I never drank. I accidentally took an edible one time. I was not in the wrong. Never smoked a cigarette because they look gross, and I didn't vape. So yeah, I was a good little boy in school. I'm having my thumbs up right now. You should have them too. Other than that, it wasn't super exciting. Like, I don't like. I would definitely like not recommend traditional school, but if you can find something other than traditional school, try it. Don't take, I don't know, like Andrew Tate's course instead of going to kindergarten kind of thing. But I would definitely explore all avenues before you're just like in-person school is the best, traditional school is the best, this curriculum is the best. But yeah, I definitely think that people that go through traditional school and traditional college are probably the most normal people you meet. But people that also drop out are some of the more fascinating people you meet. Other than that, nothing else to talk about. So have a good day.